Okay, 2016 top 20 predictions for SEO. I want to go through the top 20 things that are going to relate to SEO and how you should be thinking about some of the activities that relate to how to rank a site and get better prominence on Google, whether it's in local, national, or international ranking. Number one, more focus on social. So social signals is becoming a very important part of the way that we do business and the way that you should be doing business with making sure that there's engagement within your site on your social channels. Social channels are social proof to Google that they actually is an entity that has got reliable resources and is being used and shared. So think about as much as you can to put your efforts towards the social channels this year, 2016, to create a whirlwind of activity. Number two, brand and your keyword. So not just red apples are the best, but Johnny's red apples are the best. So think about your brand plus your keyword identifier when you do your keyword strategy, especially if you're going to be presenting content out there. Think about your brand being leveraged as Google's trying to put their best effort towards finding entities on the web as well as keyword strategies. Number three, less rank fluctuations. So we had a lot of rank fluctuations last year in 2015. We had Penguins, Mobilegeddon, we had Panda. There is a lot of things that went on in 2015 to kind of right site or right size the web's algorithm strategy that Google has got going. Now in 2016 we see more of these algorithms become naturally sort of part of the infrastructure of the internet. And really what we see also is that they have decided that there'll be more influence from their general rank brain or artificial intelligence into the strata of how Google decides to rank their different types of portfolios. So really see less of major influences of these tumbles of different types of animals and more of probably phantom level types of ranking changes that are probably test cases and data sets being rolled out into the infrastructure of Hummingbird, which is the main underlying algorithm in Google's infrastructure. Number four, video assets. So video assets are going to become very important. A lot of people are trying to understand how to build out their video strategy in 2016 because it's becoming more and more relevant that video is a killer app. It was supposed to be the last couple of years being video being the killer app, but we're really seeing 2016 as a huge piece of where video will become part of it. Number five will be AI. So artificial intelligence, again, the rank brain. We'll start to see these intelligent devices come into the market. We'll actually see some more integration of the assisting of these artificial intelligent devices, such as asking you questions back once you've given it a question to answer. So how do I get to the nearest pizza store? It's Joe's Pizza Store, and what would you like? So that would be an indication that we have assistance coming through these artificial intelligent apps as we go through 2016. Number six, voice search takes on sort of the role of the next version of how we think about how we're going to market, how search engine optimization folks who are in the industry are going to look at search as a more integrated into the semblance of things going to strings, and that's where you have a long semblance of questions and answers being thought about in the content strategy as far as looking at your content mapping, because more semantical approach to the voice search is a very important thing to think about. Number seven, AMP, or the new version of mobile pages, is coming on. That's going to be a big part of how we thin down the mobile content on these mobile pages so that we can actually see what we really want on a mobile device. AMP is going to be the new sort of gestation of how we want to write our mobile pages on our mobile devices. Number eight, app indexing or app content indexing, or really sort of app search index optimization. And that's going to be a big part as people roll out their apps. You're going to want to have your apps come up in the search results. Another big piece of how we want to go to town with our business is actually creating an app for our business and then having it being ranked in the search rankings. Or number nine, knowledge graph. So number nine is the knowledge graph. Really important to build your entity, the basis around your entire business, around your personalities of your business. The whole concept of building bridges between the different things that are out there and then tying them together to your website and the information about your website. Whether it's personalities, it's other pieces of your business, really tying things together to create strings for Google to find your website. Number 10 is the equity of links will decline. So we'll start to see more and more of this declining value of backlinking just because there's just not traffic and there's no social signals. A lot of these backlinks are just dead links. And even if they're large PBNs or they're large, really huge, heavyweight types of super strong links, if they don't have the resource capability to have traffic flow and have a real gestation of activity, that's just going to be discounted because Google's figuring out through their artificial intelligence what's real and what's not real and what actually has intelligence in itself is going to be finding that you're going to move through the characteristics of having backlinking being a piece of the business still for SEO, but really less and less as we move into more of the user metrics and things that are making a difference in SEO. Number 11, keywords are going to start to disappear. Again, going from things to strings, more entity-based, more semantic approach. We're really going to have to look at how reporting is done as we try to tie together sort of the atmospheric or the orbital cadences around a different website or a different infrastructure that's being built because of the semantical approach, and also because we're seeing much larger, longer tail keywords being part of the search volume as we see more voice searches come upon us. Number 12, more ads. We'll start to see Google push more ads into the space, and this also will be part of the boxes that will come in, more answer boxes. Really, this is the moving of the organic down as Google wants to get more money from their ads, and of course the boxes are answers to people's questions. So dependent on how well you've positioned your Q&A strategy going into the content world, that will determine whether or not you're going to be found for certain types of semantical related questions. Again, more ads. We've seen a test of 4 boxes or 4 ads above the organic. Interesting to see how it will play out in 2016. Number 13, faster takes over. Really, you have to have your website under 3 seconds now to render. You're just hurting yourself if you're not. Faster websites, faster experience, better experience. It's a no-brainer. It has to be done. Number 14, Spotlight with Apple, DuckDuckGo. There are a lot of search engines that are out there that are going to be part of the mix. Yahoo, I think, has always been faltering. It's never really been, Yahoo Bing has never really been a strong contender, but you're seeing a lot of smaller players come up and eat away at the market. We'll see how Apple's Spotlight ends up in the space because they have a big dominant player, and we have DuckDuckGo just going crazy in its advancement, and you never know, there might be a real severe entry into the space of search as Google's waning influence will inevitably have to come as people are just starting to get crazy with the spends in Google and getting upset that this is a model that's monopolized. Number 15, structured data on all posts. So all of these posts and pages should have really good structured data behind it. Structured data is those snippets and so forth that need to be pushed into the page and into Webmaster Tools and into all the places that you need to put content. You're going to think about how do you get your structured data built on all these pages. Talk about the info on those pages. Number 16, SEO is all about the now UX or UI, user experience, and we need to think about how people go from spot to spot on a website. This is all about the user metrics, completing tasks, all the things we've talked about before in other episodes where we know that user metrics are a big part of SEO now. Google's dependent on looking at their information from analytics and from Droid and from all the safe browsing and all the things that they can find to determine whether or not the site's got good user metrics, and then that's the UX, UI, the user interface. That's a real big thing. Design is the new SEO. Number 17 is the experience or the visitor optimization. So there's different avatars, there's different people that come to the site, and it's how you get those people into the right spots and how you get them through the process of closing out an activity so that they find what they need and they move on. That user experience is going to become another sort of acronym. We're calling it maybe VXO, Visitor Experience Optimization. Number 18, local gets huge. We're starting to see beaconing. We're starting to see local mobile ads coming in on these apps. There's a lot of things happening in the local space. We're going to see a lot more development, especially because there is such a big market for getting ahead of even the search engines as devices come in range of Wi-Fi signals. They can be beaconed. This is a huge market and will become a huge market for advertisers, as we see in 2016. Some of the more relevant players come out and shake out into the space where there'll be a new platform started just for these mobile apps and mobile situations that can arise, again, within proximity of networks that are outside the standard sort of search, like Google search and so forth. Okay, next is number 19, user content experience optimization. So the users who read content give different avatars, get treated differently, they go into different spots. So having your content set up for different users and optimizing the experience for each one of those different avatars, a huge thing to think about as you start to roll out larger pieces of content or even smaller pieces of content. You really think about how you bring them through the content experience, and that involves different modalities, different types of pieces of content for different users. Again, video, infographics, podcasts. There's so many different pieces of content now. You have to think about the experience and how you're going to optimize that to make sure that you get conversions as all part of bringing up the SEO metrics, because you're showing good user metrics, good conversions. Next is the number 20, and I think it's going to be the big disruptor. Periscope, Meerkat, Facebook Live, all the live broadcasting is going to become really a huge part. You can imagine, live broadcasting, and then that gets ranked on top of everything because it's a live broadcast about a topic, a service. These are things that are just going to become more and more prevalent. The live broadcasting on these different platforms is the new TV. It is the new now. We're going to see that become a huge disruptor in 2016. And 2017 and beyond, it will become a much more bigger part of our world. That is the top 20 SEO predictions. We'll see how they pan out. Hope this is insightful for you, and we'll see you in the next episode of This Week in Search.